Man, the thing about aliens is that no matter how many times I talk to scientists or military dudes or even the random conspiracy guys, I always end up back in the same place. Something weird is going on, and none of us really know what it is. You hear stories that sound totally insane, but then you find out there's documentation or radar footage or government people confirming parts of it, and then it's like, okay, either we're all losing our minds or there's something here that's been hiding in plain sight for a very long time. One of the wildest things I ever heard on this podcast was about the idea that the U.S. government actually made a deal with aliens back in the 1950s. Supposedly, Eisenhower met with extraterrestrials, like literally face to face in an Air Force base in California. The story goes that these beings offered technology in exchange for access to human DNA. It sounds like a comic book, but the people who tell it are so convinced, so detailed, they make you wonder. They talk about fiber optics, stealth tech, even integrated circuits coming from that exchange. Maybe it's all coincidence. Or maybe we're just using borrowed alien tech and pretending it's human innovation. Then there's the theory about the moon. Not the one where it's hollow, although that's crazy too, but the one that says the moon itself was placed there, like an artificial satellite. The calculations about its perfect orbit, its precise size compared to the Earth, the way it creates tides that make complex life possible, all of it feels too perfect. The claim is that it's not a coincidence, that the moon is some kind of ancient observation post, maybe even a base. You start thinking about why NASA hasn't gone back since the 70s. Like, what did they see up there that made them stop? There are stories of astronauts seeing lights, structures, things they couldn't explain. Some say the aliens told us to stay away. Another crazy one, and this one has been floating around the podcast for years, is that certain psychedelic experiences, especially with DMT, actually connect you with entities from another dimension. Not hallucinations, but literal contact. I've talked to so many people who've seen the same kind of beings, the machine elves, the tricksters, the teachers. How do different people from different cultures with different languages all see the same archetypes when they blast off? It makes you wonder if the aliens aren't coming from outer space, but from somewhere inside consciousness itself, like a layer of reality our normal brains just can't access until that chemical key opens the door. Maybe the universe isn't out there, it's right here, layered over us. One of the strangest theories ever told here came from a guy who claimed aliens have been living underground, inside the Earth for thousands of years. He said the stories about UFOs aren't visitors from space, they're just advanced civilizations from deep beneath the surface. Supposedly there are tunnels, massive caverns, whole ecosystems we've never explored. He talked about bases in Antarctica, in the Himalayas, even under the ocean. That's why UFOs are seen popping in and out of the water, because they're not coming from above, they're coming from below. It sounds nuts, but there's something about the ocean we just don't understand. We've only explored a fraction of it. It's the perfect hiding place. Bursary. Then there's the theory that aliens aren't biological at all, they're machines. The idea is that the real civilization out there isn't carbon-based life forms, but AI that outlived its creators. It's not ET with big eyes and gray skin. It's self-replicating probes, intelligent nanotech, maybe even consciousness embedded in light itself. Some people say these things are already here, camouflaged as plasma orbs or even electromagnetic phenomena that our instruments can barely register. Maybe those glowing balls pilots see aren't ships, they're entities, sentient energy watching us evolve. That's such a trippy concept because it flips the whole thing. We're not being visited by aliens, we're being observed by technology older than humanity. Another mind-bending one came from people who believe the alien abduction stories aren't physical at all, but spiritual experiments. They think the entities doing it are manipulating human DNA through frequencies, like reality itself is a simulation, and these beings are editing the code. The grays, the reptilians, the tall whites. All those archetypes might just be interfaces, avatars of something beyond comprehension. Maybe they don't come in ships because they don't need to travel, they just tune into your consciousness. That explains why so many people wake up paralyzed, why the experiences feel real but impossible. If consciousness is the real frontier, then these beings might be exploring it just like we explore outer space. There was one theory that honestly still gives me chills. The idea that aliens aren't visitors. They're us from the future. Think about it. Big heads, small bodies, no hair, giant eyes. That's exactly what humans would look like if evolution kept going for another million years. Maybe they figured out time travel and they're coming back to observe their own ancestors, or maybe to fix something that went wrong. That's why they're obsessed with genetics and reproduction and abduction stories, because something in their line broke and they're trying to repair it. If that's true, then UFOs aren't spaceships, they're time machines, and the whole idea of aliens might just be a misunderstanding of ourselves. And finally, one of my favorites, because it's so cinematic, the theory that governments around the world already know aliens are real, and they're slowly preparing us for disclosure. Every few years they release a little more footage, a few more declassified documents, a few pilots telling their stories. It's like a soft rollout. The people who believe this say there's a reason for it, Huma. Nitty can't handle the full truth all at once. Society would collapse, religions would crumble, and power structures would fall apart. So they're warming us up to the idea that we're not alone. Some even think there's going to be a staged alien invasion, a fake one, to unite the planet under one global authority. That's wild, but it makes sense when you think about how fear drives control. A threat from the sky would do it. What's crazy is that every single one of these stories, no matter how far out, touches something real about the human experience. We're searching. We've always been searching. Whether it's out there in the stars or inside our own minds, we want to know where we come from and what else is sharing this universe with us. Maybe that's why the alien phenomenon never dies. It evolves with us. In the 1950s, it was saucers and silver suits. Now it's orbs, AI, and interdimensional beings. Same mystery, different mask. And honestly, I don't even care if half of it turns out to be false. The pursuit itself is the point. It forces you to question reality. It keeps that childlike wonder alive, the part of you that looks up at the night sky and feels both tiny and infinite at the same time, whether we're being watched, guided, or completely ignored by the cosmos. The fact that we can even imagine it is proof that consciousness is the strangest thing in existence. Maybe that's the real secret. Maybe the universe itself is conscious, and aliens are just another reflection of it, looking back at us, waiting for us to evolve enough to notice. Until then, we'll keep asking questions, keep inviting the weirdos, the scientists, the whistleblowers, and the dreamers to sit down, share their stories, and blow our minds. Because who knows? Maybe one day one of those stories won't sound like a conspiracy anymore. Maybe it'll just sound like the truth. Cut.